Is your Google Ads not performing? Maybe you're not getting conversions coming in, or maybe your cost of getting the leads, getting sales is far too high and you really want to bring it down. Well, today, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cover for you a strategy which involves traffic, usability, and content optimization in order to maximize the efficiency of your Google Ads campaign to make it more profitable. Before I do continue, my name is Ajay Dhunna. I'm a Google Ads specialist. And what I'd like you to do, because a lot of people don't do this, is before you do continue watching, just hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, so it supports me to run this channel. Now, let's get into it. What a lot of people do is that they run a Google Ads campaign and for some reason it's not working, right? And they focus a lot on optimizing the Google Ads campaign. Now, there's three things that you need to look at in order to make sure that your Google Ads campaign is effective. Now, the last one is the one that people underestimate most of the time because they're looking at the wrong thing. So carry on watching this video, make sure you do watch to the end, and let me cover all three aspects. The first one is your website. Now, I have covered this within a book that I recently authored, which became a #1 bestseller. It's called How to Win Customers with Google Ads, and I call it the Digital Marketing Success Triad. So the first part of the Digital Marketing Success Triad is your website. So you've got to make sure that firstly, does your website work properly? Does it load fast? Because for every second that your website is not loading, then you're actually losing a bulk of your customers because people haven't got patience. They're using they're visiting your website typically on a mobile device. So if it's not going to load fast enough, they will move over to a different website. Secondly, have you checked the responsiveness? You know, websites are designed on desktops, laptops, so on a bigger screen it might look great, but how does your website perform on a mobile device or even a tablet for that sake? Because a lot of people underestimate that how their website might look, even to the point that websites are not even usable on some mobile devices because they haven't really considered mobile responsiveness. So then on your website, look at the navigation of your website. So make sure that people are easily be able to find the information that they want to find with the minimum number of clicks. Don't just assume that people will somehow find it because you've probably looked at your website 100 times. But for someone coming onto your website brand new, they've only got moments to make up their decision as to whether you supply that product or that service. If they can't find it, they will not hang around. They will not go from menu to menu to menu. And that nicely brings me on to usability. Just make sure you do some form of user testing. So just tell people to go onto your website, hey, and try to make a purchase or try to make a booking and see what they do, because you'll be absolutely surprised. What you expect them to do is going to be very different to what they actually do. Now, in summary, what that means is that you might have a great Google Ads campaign, but when they come onto your website, if these factors are not catered for, your conversion rate is going to drop massively. The second most important thing is the traffic, and what I mean by that is that it's great to have a quantity of traffic. So it's great to have lots of traffic coming onto your website, but what you also need to do is you need to make sure the quality of the traffic is the highest quality traffic you can actually get. And what that means is that first of all, it's relevant. So you're not driving traffic for very broad terms. You've got to make sure that whatever traffic you're getting is related to the products and services that you provide. So don't only look at your keywords, but look at your search terms too, because your search terms is actually what's going to determine what gets displayed on the Google page. So if your ads are being displayed on the Google page, it's because of your search terms, not necessarily because of your keywords. Okay. Now you can watch another video of mine. There'll be links somewhere in this description below, which goes into something called match types. So I won't cover that in this video. This video is more about driving the overall more conversion for your website. You also need to make sure that the numbers stack up. So, okay, it's great getting the quantity, but look at other metrics such as your cost per conversion or your conversion rate. and you can look at your ROI or your return on ad spend, because that will then ultimately determine which campaigns are working. And I'll tell you one thing, one common mistake a lot of people make is that they look at their overall cost per conversion, their overall costs. So instead of looking at it over at an overall basis, look at it by campaign level, because it could be that you've got, let's say if you've got 10 campaigns, it could be that most of them, or 8 of them, are performing really well at a good cost per conversion or cost per lead or cost per acquisition, whatever you want to call it. But it could be that 2 of them or 1 of them is converting at a very high cost per lead or cost per conversion, which is now skewing all of your data. So when it comes on to looking at metrics, make sure you've got these metrics in place. Make sure you're looking at your conversion rates, because if you've got one campaign that's converting at, let's say, 10%, and you've got one campaign that's only converting at 5%, it makes sense to investigate that campaign and put more of your budget into the campaign that is performing at a higher conversion rate. So don't just split your budget equally. Again, I do have a video about how to better manage your budget within a Google Ads campaign. Now, the third one, which is where a lot of people go wrong, is your content, your website content. And let me break that down for you. It's great to have a great website, okay? Now, first of all, when you're driving traffic from your Google Ads campaign to your website, make sure you're taking them to a relevant landing page, and the landing page must be highly relevant to what they've actually searched for. So for example, if the user has searched for fire alarm installation, make sure you take them to a page for fire alarm installation. Don't take them to a generic fire alarm page, because it could be that they again are going to have to navigate around it. You want to give the best user experience so that when people come onto your page, they think, that's exactly what I was looking for. Now let me read about it. Because if you set them off to a different page, the chances are you may even lose that customer, because they're trying to find where that relevant page is, and they may not have the patience to find that page. So make sure firstly that page you take them to is highly relevant, and that's the landing page. And what a lot of people do, or what I always advise people to do, is that it's possible to have one landing page for your general users, but for Google Ads, build a special landing page, so the only people that are going to go onto that landing page are going to be people who you're going to send over from your Google Ads campaign. Because with that page, you can experiment as much as you want to. You can make quick changes to that page, and if you don't like something, you can change it again. And it doesn't really have to be optimized for search engine optimization either. It has to be optimized for conversions. Now, on your landing page, make sure you've got the fundamental elements in place. And what I mean by that is, first of all, make sure you've got a great heading and a great subheading, so that when people read that, they instantly know what this page is about and is it relevant to them. Make sure you get great call to actions. And what I mean by call to actions is, don't just rely on a call to action at the top of your page. So just because you've got a contact us or request a quote right at the top of the page, that's not necessarily a call to action. Because if you think about it, as people read down your page, they're not necessarily going to be scrolling back to the top to click on your contact. So what you need to do is that whilst they're reading down your page, you need to disrupt their reading and say, hey, would you like to call us, or would you like to contact us? So have a button there. You can even have several buttons throughout your page, or maybe with different captions like get in touch or book an appointment and so on. So make sure you have plenty of call to actions, and they could all be leading to the same thing, so the same form, to the same calendar, or the same phone number. Also, when you look at your content, make sure people can easily understand your products, your services, and your prices, your returns policy, your refund policy, and so on. Because if the information is not there, they're not necessarily going to go to other pages to find that information. You need to make it super clear what that information is, what the details of your return policy is, the cost, and so on. The other item you need to make sure on your content is make sure you put something which will develop trust in your users. And what I mean by that is, put your reviews on, because a lot of people, you can claim whatever you want to claim about your products or services, but what people want to see is, hey, has anybody reviewed their product or their service? And if they have, what are they saying about it? What type of ratings have you got? Have you got 5 out of 5, 4.8 out of 5, 3 out of 5, and so on? And that's going to make a huge impact, because what you're doing is you're developing trust. Speaking of trust, another thing you can do is put testimonials. If you can get some of your customers to put video testimonials onto your landing page, that's really going to accelerate the comfort at which people are going to be trusting your website page. The other element is avoid using huge paragraphs of text. People don't like reading. I know when I go to a website, I just want that information quickly. So what I like to read is short, snappy paragraphs, maybe just a couple, good headlines, which will make me think, that's the right type of information that I need. Bullet points, diagrams, illustrations. If you've got a product, their dimensions maybe, but just short, snappy pieces of information which the brain can easily absorb and make a quick decision on. And don't forget that if you can put videos and images onto your content pages, then that's also going to help, because people are not going to look at a boring page. If it's a product, people want to visualize what that product is about. If it's a service, use some images, use some videos which demonstrate that product or that service. So these are the 3 key ingredients that you need to make sure that your Google Ads campaign is performing well. So don't just sit there sweating away trying to work out, hey, why this Google Ads campaign isn't working. Refer to the digital marketing success triad. Look at your website, the traffic, and your content. And if you get all these 3 right, you are going to supercharge your conversions. And what you need to make sure is that you're working as a team. So if you're the person who's looking after your Google Ads campaign, talk to people who's doing the website, talk to people who's doing the content, and let's say, hey, let's work as a team, right? If you're doing ads for somebody else, your customers, tell them, hey, I'm working as part of your team. Now, if something's working, great, tell us about it. If something's not working, let's work out which element of it is not working. It's not just that the Google Ads isn't working. Which element of that is not working? Is it the website? Is it the content, or is it the traffic? And let's conduct experiments. Let's conduct A/B experiments, or test experiments, or split testing, whatever you want to call them, on your landing pages. Split testing on your ads, split testing on your content, the call to actions, the colors, and so much more. Guys, I think I've given you a good overview of what to do if you think that your Google Ads account is not performing well. If you want to know more, either drop a comment below. Let me know what you thought about these tips and advice that I'm giving to you. And likewise, if you've got a Google Ads campaign that isn't performing, and maybe you've looked at all these elements and you still want someone to look over your shoulder and say, hey, I'm happy to give it an independent audit, get in touch with me. There'll be a link somewhere in the comments area below, and reach out to me. It'd be great to hook up onto a Zoom call whereby we can do a live video call and we can look at your Google Ads campaign to see how we can make it more profitable. Thank you, guys, and please do remember, have you subscribed? Have you hit that subscribe button? And if not, why not, guys? You're consuming my content, and if you've got this far, it means that you're actually enjoying what I'm saying, or you've got some value out of it. And if you have, hit that button and drop me a comment to say whether you like this video, whether you didn't like it, or whether you got any questions as to other videos that you might want me to produce. It'd be great to hear from you. I look forward to seeing you on another video. Goodbye for now.